Can everyone hear me?
No.
Wow, that's good. Good start. All right. So tonight, what we're going to do for something different is we're actually recording this meeting on my laptop in the middle. So just remember that when we're discussing things that we discussed tonight, and try and keep it on the level. Yeah. Stick to our ground rules, which are up around the place, which is normal. Look, me and Pete are going to do like tag team tonight, so hopefully we keep you all entertained and you enjoy the session. Better do a welcome to country, I suppose. We acknowledge this land that we meet on today is the traditional lands of the Ghana people, and that we respect their spiritual relationship with their country. We also acknowledge the Ghana people as the custodians of the Adelaide region, and that their cultural and heritage beliefs are still as important to the living Ghana people today. We also pay respects to the cultural authority of Aboriginal people visiting from other areas of South Australia and Australia. All right. They are the ground rules. We thought we'd put them up on the big screen in case people can't read them around the room. There's one sheet just behind Michael Mestros there, and there's a couple up here. But always be respectful. Of course we always are, because we're all umpires, so we're always respectful, aren't we? Yeah, good. And this one is a really important one, no judgment. We're going to look at positioning, code of conduct stuff tonight. So please don't judge any of the umpires in the videos, except for we will be critiquing them, which is a bit of a different way to go about it. So yeah.
No dumb questions.
Yeah, and the question you don't ask is a dumb question. So please, if you've got questions, stick your hand up and ask a question. Okay. Well, the first topic tonight we're going to talk about is movement from the bowler's end. And this is a video I play every level 1 umpiring session that I deliver, because it's a we watched what the bowler does here, very good, reacts to what's happening in the game, crouches, sells his decision to the bowling side. That's basically what we're looking at from the bowler's end. He gets to the line fairly quickly without getting in the way of anyone, watches really closely, makes a good decision. We're not here to critique the decisions, we're here to look at the movement. So that's what we should all be aiming at, trying to do when we're at the bowler's end. Alright? So this is a bit of a different one. Obviously. So, what do we see there? What do we think the umpire did really well in that scenario?
Watch the batter.
Yeah. Sorry?
Watch the batter.
Yeah, watch the batter. Also, what else did they do? When they knew that something was happening, kept their head still at all times. They were always, head was always up, watching what was happening. So, really, I mean, obviously, you haven't got time to try and make position in that scenario. You just have to make a decision, a pretty easy decision, really. The non-striker is a long way out. But what we like about it is the stillness. And then after the impact, the delivery of the out decision was really good, really well timed, in time with the game. So, obviously...
Self-preservation while still keeping on out.
Yeah, and a little bit of self-preservation does come into that. Because the ball's been struck back straight at you, you have to be wary of that as well. Because that ball could have been higher and the bowler might have missed it, or the bowler, worst case scenario, may hit it into you as well, off their hand, which has happened to me. before. All right, so this one here, we'll have a look first. So what we're looking at here, what do we think is good from that movement? What does everyone see in that movement? What do they think are the good aspects?
He's in the right position.
He gets to a good position, yeah, correctly. Yeah. So from what angle? It's Kurt, by the way. So what we look at, if you can take it back to where he was originally.
Sorry, wrong button.
It's all right, mate. Diagonally to the line and then out. So that's what we're looking for. If any of you have had Linton be your umpire coach, he will talk to you about getting to the line quickly. So what we're trying to do is get to the line, or as close to the line as we can, and then go out. So what Kurt does really well is reacts quickly, sees that there's a run out on, gets back, makes a decision. Look, the batter was a little bit lazy, just quietly, and made Kurt's decision a little bit easier. But
where he hits the crease is that
yeah,
joint between these two pitches.
which is where we want you to get to, if you can. If you have time, the perfect spot to get to make a really good decision is right where Kurt is there. In a quick run-out decision, we are talking.
It's basically, you see, like, there's a few examples here that's got exactly that, and that's why this one's a great example, Kurt, thank you, because he goes exactly that, where Linton always says, get to the popping crease,
A pitch away.
over,
Yeah.
and then go back from there, which is exactly what Kurt does. He's only got time to take like one step from there, but his eyes are level. You would have felt, Kurt, like you would have almost felt like you were stopped, because you've got yourself in line. Even though you're moving slightly backwards, you would have felt very level and very able to make that decision, which is a very good decision. Anything else in this one? We'll go.
I think so. Any questions on that one?
Just an observation, he made the move the first couple of steps very early.
Yes.
Anticipating it before.
Yeah. Yeah, correct.
This is what we're trying to get into our guys.
Yeah.
Panel 2.
No, perfect. Thanks, Max. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So there's 2 steps before he realises he has to go.
Yeah.
He made
He's already part of the way there.
Yeah, correct. This is an interesting one, this one. We'll talk about this a bit.
Sorry.
Just play it all the way through.
Yeah.
Okay, so observations. No, I think Pete's doing a very good job with the mouse being over on this screen. He's doing a lot better job than I would do. So what we look at there, if you can go back to nearly the start, yeah, just after the batter hits it, and how the umpire moves, hasn't moved, and then moves, not really watching the ball. But I think what the umpire's done in their head is go, oh, there's a fielder just there. And I think the realisation was very late by the umpire that the fielder was very close. So I think what this gives us a really good thing to think about is knowing where the fielders are before the ball is bowled, so you can react accordingly. Because I think if this umpire had his time again, he would have moved very similarly to Kurt or Duval and watched the ball a bit more closely. He actually takes his eye off the ball to get to position, and I understand that that's what he did, but I think he realised it very late. So that's what we're... So in that scenario, anything from the floor that maybe someone can say what they would do differently in that scenario. Yes, Kurt?
It's on that kind of, it's having that awareness, and it's, you know, maybe it's the end of the 2 8 hours at 9.3, so maybe it's, you know, right at the end of the day, but it's still something to be aware of. Where any fielders, who are any good fielders, a bit of game sense of, they're trying to steal runs at the moment, the fielding team really hunting the wickets at the moment, and just having that aware, particularly in red ball cricket, white ball cricket, but it should still be for red ball, that just every so often, like even if, it's the most boring two-day game of all time, just check your field, you have it every over or two, at the very least, be like, oh, okay, that fielder beyond's just sneaking in a bit here, that could be a chance, and just have that back in mind.
So they're the umpires that are looking at the ball. So, because they've made a decision that, I need to scurry to get to a better position, and I don't mind that from the umpire's point of view. I'm not having a go at the umpire. I think they made a decision that they had to move quick. So they thought the best way to move quick was to not have their head looking back there.
Yeah, he's made the best of he hasn't moved, and that often happens. Like, you don't necessarily know. He's reacted because he's heard the strike call, yes, in as they do, and so he's gone, crap, there's on here. So instead of worrying about technique and looking and stuff, he's just gone, I need to get as far to that spot where Kurt got and Duval got as possible. And he's just done his best with what he could do, which at the end of the day, that's what you're trying to do. You've got the stand you're trying to meet, and then you get as much as you can in the situation.
Harry, did you want to add to that?
Another one, like with Kurt's example, the ball was traveling in front of him on his left, which is easy to look.
Yeah,
but
correct.
if it's going on your right hand side, you have to look over your shoulder and then move backwards in these scenarios is really helpful, because sometimes what happens is the speed of the fielder might be quick than the actual fielder.
And I think
you're in hot spot,
at the
you have to stop and make a decision.
at the end of that decision, I think the umpire made really good position and crouched and solved the decision. Does everyone know what I mean by that? That little crouch, and it just sells the decision to the fielding side a little bit more. It makes it look like I'm expecting an impact to happen, so therefore I'm waiting and watching really close.
This is kind of a contrast one.
Yeah, this is a bit different one.
Is to Harry's point. To Harry's point, he's prioritised here, opening himself up and seeing everything, but it meant he was very, not at all going in the direction.
He's not near the line at all. So that's not what we want to see. But the game awareness is really good. He's watched the ball closely and then gone, oh wow, I need to make a decision. I need to get back so I can make a clear decision. And where he's got to is actually not too bad if you look at it in this way, because his angle, everything's in a line from where he is. The stumps are very close to his vision of where the bat is hitting the line.
That's a cracker.
It's an absolute cracker of a decision.
Is it?
Because that's...
Does he have
a replay on that?
No, he gave that out live.
Yeah. I've been in exactly that position. If you can give that out live, I don't think that's a good decision.
No.
Because you cannot in any way tell he's that close, and you've got to give benefit.
Yeah, at his level, I would go with he's expected to give that out. I think for us, you're probably not giving that out.
Yeah, I agree.
That's where I'm saying.
And I don't disagree with Mick and Tom on that one. I think that's a really hard decision to give it out live. And yes, he's got it right, so he looks like a hero, but it could have easily been incorrect as well.
Yeah. He's an umpire that will go with his gut and what he thinks.
Yeah.
And that's probably not most of us.
Doesn't matter if he goes with your gut. That close decision, live, wrong decision.
Yeah, well, then he thinks it's out.
It's too much doubt.
Yeah, but in the end of the day, it is a correct decision, Tom. Yeah. But I know, and I understand your point of view. I do. And Mick, I do understand your point of view.
It was more so, like Tommy said at the start, we're not judging the decision necessarily. That's probably a sidetrack of a discussion, which is good. But for the sake of movement, the point is...
What he didn't do well was he went sideways. And I have umpire coaches that send me notes all the time. Why are the umpires going sideways? Like I'm not talking elite level umpires like this. I'm talking 3rd, 4th junior umpires, 3rd and 4th grade and junior umpires. They're going sideways all the time. A lot of you are going sideways, not to the line. You've got to try and get to the line. Yes, if it's too quick for you and you don't move that quick and you only get to here, at least you've made some movement away from being back there. And it looks like you've made an effort to get to the line. Don't be going just to get out of the way. Because that's what a lot of umpires tend to do, is go sideways rather than forward. So why we're doing this is to teach you all to get into a habit of trying to move forward to the line first.
And we've got two examples of this same umpire here. I think both of them he goes this way, so they're both example.
Yeah.
He's aiming for this spot just here. I'm pretty sure both of them he goes the same way. We'll see how right out. No, so
other way.
But here's an example. He was going there, but obviously he just had no time at all. It probably was.
That's just suicidal, right?
He's a bit. So again, there's another one where he's not taking the first step. His first step has gone sideways, but he's realised
he's got to there, and he's gone, I need to stay still and see this decision clearly. And he would have known the batter is a long way out as well. But and also in that's really good. I think that's really good game sense from this umpire, because in that scenario, if he tries to get really quickly to the line, that player blocks his view of what he does with the stumps. So I actually think that's really good game sense from this umpire to say, I need to stop here so I can see everything clearly.
That's a really good example of stopping to see that.
Yeah.
And that's probably a better one than the previous one.
Yes, correct.
And even though he's in the wrong spot, but he did the right thing for the game.
Yeah, correct. I think so. I think it was really good game awareness.
he couldn't really have got. He didn't have time to get any further, but
Yeah.
there's a kind of contrast example where he has extra time. Same umpire, same angle, theoretical.
The fielder's back, obviously. Yeah. So in that scenario, if you go back to the start of that page, in this scenario, the umpire knows that long off is at long off. He's not at mid off. So he knows he's got time to get to position. So he takes his time. So again, in that scenario, if this umpire gets shot out of a cannon to the line, when you know there's an easy single, and they're probably just going to come back for two, if you shoot to the line, you look like you don't know what's going on in the game of cricket. So sometimes moving at the pace of the game makes you look like you're in more control, is what I'm trying to say. Does everyone understand that? Get that? Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's a really good example of knowing what's happening in the game, where the fielders are, and then making a decision. No, it's not interference from the bowler. Did look a bit like that.
But it is also, it's another little side note of he's done the right thing. He's watching the ball, walking back, keeping it on his side.
Oh yeah, he's also.
Now what is he watching?
He's watched the batter tap in for the first run.
And it all goes with the flow of the game.
Yeah, it's very good game awareness from the up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think that was all we've done. But
Yeah, I think that's it. Any questions about bowlers and movement anyone wants to bring up? Because, look, we all know that we all get caught in really bad spots sometimes. We don't try to, but it happens. And generally speaking, I know from my own experience that if I get in a bad position, it's because I'm probably not concentrating. At the end of the day, your routines that you go back to, you still need to concentrate to keep those routines moving. Yes, Chris.
It's not a question, just a comment.
Yeah.
On a couple of those, if we get in the habit of taking those first 2 or 3 steps really quickly on every occasion, whether the batters are running or not, it gives you the best opportunity to get into the best position to make the correct decision.
Yep.
And the most important part about that is that if you do it for long enough, it becomes instinctive, so you don't have to think about it. It just happens.
So, every ball, I mean, I just ran a level 1 course last week, and I talked to the umpires about trying to move from, don't just stand on one spot when you're umpiring, like to always move. Yes, obviously, if you get an LBW appeal, you've got to stand and answer that appeal. But if you haven't got an appeal, and the batters may or may not run, why not walk 2 steps? It doesn't hurt you. It actually will help your back and your legs.
So it keeps your blood flowing.
Yeah.
And also, you're not stuck to a spot when you do need to move quickly.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a really good habit to get into. As Chris said, couple of steps every ball. It's probably going to benefit you at the end of the day after a long day's umpiring. Any questions? Any more questions? No?
Tomo.
Yeah.
I think that rounds out positioning really well. Have you got any advice for the actual decision and how you go about making the decision? So for the newer umpires, are you looking at the ball coming in or the batter running? Are you counting?
Oh, okay.
Have you got a process for it?
Yeah, I'm really happy you brought that up because I think some umpires have different process. I know what I do, so I'll speak to that, and then I'm happy to open that up to other experienced umpires in the room. I look at the line and the batter, and I see and hear everything else in my peripheral. I think that helps me make a better decision. And no, I don't go in my head out, in, like I've heard some umpires say. I don't delve into that. I just go, I'm watching the line, because the line doesn't move. If you're watching the line and you're still, you'll see the bat come over it and you'll hear the stumps on a direct hit, or hopefully you'll notice the hands going into the stumps properly and not incorrectly.
Yeah, I think focus on the line. You'll see when the batter's made their ground, and you get the donk of whether it's hands or stump, and then you're just making that black and white.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything different to that?
Yeah. Does anyone do anything different to that in a run-out situation? I'm happy to hear it. I'm not saying I'm right and everyone else is wrong.
I'm glad you brought that up, Mick, because new umpires, you don't know them until you know or you're told, right? Do you? So,
yeah.
Or until you get enough wrong until you work out how to do it right.
Yeah.
You're told.
Correct.
And the thing is, the play happens a lot quicker than you expect.
Yeah.
Especially in the first couple of times that you're in that situation. Don't guess.
Yeah.
Just a couple of points. I say there was a technique that some of the umpires used years ago. I know when I first started umpiring and watching the bat, I tried it for a while. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
That's me, and I don't think too many people will adopt that now. But years ago, people like Peter Cronin, that's what he did. He watched the batter's bat.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's the right thing. Some of you may have tried that. I don't know. But if you're having trouble with run-outs, perhaps you could try that. I don't know.
An issue you could have with that is if they're sliding the bat through a foot mark, then you're not getting
it's not. There's plenty of issues with it.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'll say is wait for a few seconds before or a couple of seconds before you give your decision.
Yeah.
If it's all happening in a real hurry,
Yeah.
you see all those umpires that didn't just jump and throw the finger up straight away. They paused because there's a lot of action going on. Pause. In your mind, without thinking about it, you're actually replaying it in your mind. That'll give you the best chance to give it a balanced decision.
Yeah, correct. I think the ones that we often get wrong are the ones we rush. I agree with that from Linton.
Yes, and what I have noticed in juniors cricket, which I have done recently, You know, most of the guys, they try to hit the wicket before the ball is in their hand. That is very important because they try to rush in making that batter out. So the ball is not in their hand, and then they hit the stumps, and then they ask an appeal. So most of the time I have to judge that instantly, saying as it's not out because the ball is not in your hand.
Yeah, and that's good observation.
Whose responsibility, like, in terms of teamwork on the field, you're at the bowler's end, or the other umpire, this is a note for when you're at the other end.
In the bowler end.
And there's, for direct hit, obviously, there's no issue. Yes. You should be, if you're the other umpire, watching breaking of the wickets. Yeah? That, I think, to me, is totally the clearest thing. And then in that way, if you see it, but then you get something, even if you put your finger up, if you, from the other end, gone, he didn't have the ball, hang on, like, you can help your mate, and I think all the players will be accepting of that.
No, most definitely. Yeah.
No, hang on, ball's bounced out here.
Yeah.
It's worth noting as well, if there's someone up at the stumps, and they're taking the stumps, and they haven't ended up with the ball in their hand, and there's a massive red flag.
So let's say in that scenario, you're at square leg, you're watching it unfold, you know the batter's not in trouble at your end. So yes, you've watched your end, but you also know that there's a run out about to happen, and the fielder might be at the wickets. Please, some of you guys has to go to that. You have to help your mate out.
And once the throw's coming in, you know which end it's going to.
Yeah, if you see which end the throw's going to, you know it's not your end. There's not going to be a run out. No use you going at the line if everything's happening over there. Again, lack of game awareness, that is. That's focusing on what your job is and not helping your partner. We all need to help our partners where we can. And so, if that happens, please be aware and have the game sense to help your partner out. Because I'm pretty sure that if I'm making that decision that Kurt had to make, and that player didn't take the ball properly, I may not have seen it. So I may not have seen it as clearly as my mate at the other end might have seen it. And please, if you're at the other end and you do see it, taken incorrectly, don't not say anything. You must go, hang on, can we just have a chat? I think he's broken the stumps illegally, and it's not out. But make sure you've seen it too. Don't go making up a story that's not there.
Well, good. I think either way, if there's more questions, we can take them, or you can chat to us after.
Is everyone happy with that?
Craig, I think that's really important, because if you are around on the line, then you can't see whether he's taking it cleanly or not. You really
sometimes you can't. All you might see is the player's arse in front of you.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think probably need to move on. We have a session on code of conduct. We'll go through everyone's favourite subject. So we'll try to make it as interactive as possible. I guess one of the key points we wanted to emphasise is the reason why code of conduct matters and that we're all across it is so that we're all enforcing it to the same consistent, like being consistent across all grades and across competitions. So there's no use, batters coming up 3rd and 4th grade, having ridiculous reactions, no one says anything, nothing happens. Those sort of things are getting crunched down on higher grades. Or, equally within a grade, someone reacts a poor way one week, nothing happens, do the exact same thing the week after, or an opposition player does something the week after. It's classic one where you have a poor reaction and you have to say something to them or have to report them, and they say, XYZ did this exact same thing last week, nothing happened. So there's obviously it goes without saying, but we've now said it, being consistent across your grades is obviously very important. So we're going to obviously chat through what are some of the things we're looking for in terms of player behaviour.
And this is why we have a code of conduct where we have to report bad behaviour, because we want the spirit of cricket to be good. We want to keep the game fair and enjoyable, and we want umpires to help umpires maintain control without conflict. And very good quote, what is ignored is accepted. So if you walk past the bad behaviour and don't report it, you've accepted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're telling everyone else that this is acceptable, this is okay behaviour.
Yep.
Is effectively what you're doing then. So obviously one of the key things, probably, I don't know if that's part of the committee, one of the major things we obviously end up having to report is dissent. So what we want to focus on in this is obviously the bottom quote here, emotion is expected, disrespect isn't. So that's the difference, that's what we're talking about. It's okay for a player to be disappointed that they're out. It's okay if they're extra disappointed because they didn't think they should have been given out.
Yeah.
But where's the line where it starts to hit you're extra disappointed to the point of dissent, and then now we have to actually step in and potentially report behaviour. So we've got a couple of videos to go through. But yeah,
so disappointment is an internal reaction. So it's how the batter feels. They're probably going to be disappointed they're out in the first place. And if they think they've got a poor decision, they're probably going to be more disappointed. So that will happen. But it still doesn't give them licence to have a go at the umpire. And it's usually quiet, and it's usually brief, it's usually internal, it's usually like, and walk off. And they may swear at themselves. But if they're swearing at themselves, and it's like that, what I just did then, that's disappointment. That's not, I'm upset with the umpire for making that decision. That's not what that is. And it's not directed at the umpire. That is really key. Yes, Pete?
Observing players' behaviour from off the field, that's one way that the umpires can help with that assessment, because it's a look that gets portrayed off the field. So from the outside looking in, if a player stands his ground for longer than accepted, then you're starting to get into that shaky area, and then they walk off, and then it's the look in the game that's important.
Yeah. So dissent, obviously if it's directed at the umpire, it's dissent. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, I think. But we can still put it down. Repeated, loud, demonstrative, and it's designed to influence future decisions. Because what they're trying to say is you made a shit decision, don't make any more.
And it often comes into fielding sides and not outs.
Yes.
So
that's what we mean by that one.
That comes into like excessive appealing and excessive reactions after a not out. They're especially fielding teams, because once the batter's out, they only really care about themselves in the grand scheme of things. So that point's probably more on fielding teams. Yeah. The rest of them apply to all of it. We'll go, there's a couple of video examples. We'll have a look and get everyone's thoughts on whether you think this is disappointment or dissent. You don't get much of a look at the batter, but just the snippets you get of him. Have a look at his reaction of what you do see. Thing goes up. What are we saying? Still shaking his head. So he obviously doesn't think he should have been given out. We're about to see why. This is by not.
Yeah, that's a long way for the ball. So, in that, do we think Tendulkar is showing dissent at the umpire's decision, or is he disappointed?
Disappointed.
Disappointed, yeah. Sorry?
He can't believe that.
Yeah, he can't believe it, and he's disappointed. He's allowed to do that. There's nothing in the code of conduct that's stopping a batter reacting like that. Like, oh really? Okay, I'm out, and walk off. Like, that's what Tendulkar did there. So this one, watch this one, and then we'll get your view. Who's the batter looking at? What do we think from that one?
He gave him a scare.
Sorry?
He gave him a scare, actually, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the initial response to the finger going?
What?
Yeah, and the head went forward as well, and something was said.
Yeah.
So obviously we don't have audio on this one, and also if I add into the end of this video, when the batter gets to the boundary line, he goes, "Oh my God!" What do we reckon that is? That's dissent, yeah? Not disappointment?
Yeah.
So,
the other giveaway is he's looking at the umpire. If you look at it, as he's walking off, he's still looking at the umpire. So
Yeah.
that's the giveaway that he's having, you know, after you.
I'm not happy with your decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, to be clear, this isn't like, I think we found one that's close to the line, wouldn't you say? Like, this isn't, like, he's not throwing his hands up there, he's not done something's happened. But what we've found, what we've tried to do is find here's the line. You know, you've got such
between what Tendulkar did and what happens in this video, there's your difference between disappointment and dissent.
Tendulkar looked back and then looked away.
Yeah. And then just didn't look at the umpire again and just walked off.
Yeah.
Still might have shook his head a couple of times, but the umpire's over there and he's like this.
Yeah.
Like, it's not at the umpire. So, yes, Tim.
I was at Square that day.
Yeah.
And Michael actually stood there when he got given out and yelled at Willow.
Yeah.
He just said, "No!"
Yeah.
And then walked
Yeah.
off.
Correct.
And I kept, as you've probably seen the rest of it, as
Yeah.
he walked on, he's still looking at me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Watching everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So you need to record it. You need to record what's happening. So when something like that happens, you have to be like you would on your phone and videoing it. But I'm not saying get your phone out and videoing it, but you have to, as Michael just said, he watched the batter walk off. And both of you, when you come together after that dismissal and that reaction's happened, you must be in a position where, one, you can make sure the fielding team isn't damaging the wicket, and two, watching the batter walk off. Because what else might happen as they walk off the ground?
Throw their bat.
They may throw a bat. They may hit a sign. They may kick something, like a cone. They may kick a cone towards another spectator. Like, you need to watch what they do. It's really important to watch the batters leave the field of play, especially if you think there's been something that's going on in their head. Yep.
Michael just elaborated a little bit more on that previous video.
Yeah.
There was some more information that happened off the field.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
And when there's further information that you can take and put in the report that's relevant to that report that happens either at tea or at the next break, while you're there at the game in your official capacity,
Then
that goes in.
yeah, that needs to be the facts that are recorded in the report. Because at the end of the day, when I'm sitting on DP and I want to know what happened, I want to know the facts. I don't want to know that the batter made you upset because he had to go at your decision. I don't want to know about that. I want to know what actually happened. The actual facts of what happened on the day.
Will that get spoken to the cricket club?
Sorry?
Will that get spoken to, the report, to the direct cricket club, to the club itself?
That report was reported, it was determined, the determination goes back to the club. Yeah.
And they accepted it?
Or they accept or they deny, and then it goes to a tribunal. That's what happens. That's our system.
It's the content of the report. It's part of your question is the content of what you write. Does that go to the club?
It may, if it goes to tribunal, they may see the wording that you've written in your report, yes.
But otherwise,
no.
They just get
Like, let's say it's reported, DEP make a decision on it, it goes back to the club, they accept the ban, or they accept whatever happens, the not guilty or the guilty. If they accept it, I'm pretty sure they do not see the contents of the report. No. It's only if it goes to tribunal, because then it'll come out what happened.
Just one thing regarding the whole reporting process. A lot of the times, because we're emotional people as well, we can get caught up in the result of the tribunal process. My advice is do not pay any attention to the result of your report. I've reported numerous players and I couldn't tell you the result of one of them. That doesn't matter to me. That's up for the judiciary or the commissioner or whoever is handling it. If we report somebody and it doesn't go the way that we want it to go or think that it should go, that can affect us emotionally. My advice is do not pay any attention to the result of the report.
Yeah.
And
We'll
one,
chat more about that in a second.
yeah, we will. Yeah.
And yeah, anything else on the south? Then we'll move to more player behaviour, player management in terms of sledging. So I think this is just worth us all being across. Obviously, yes, we expect in a competitive game, especially I think I've noticed as you're up the levels, and certain teams, certain players, you know, trying to get in the head of their opposition, and they're saying things to try to get under their skin and in their head and make them play a stupid shot. Most of the time, it's a comment about, you know, mid-off's up, you're hitting into the wind, you know, try to tempt them with a carrot, and usually that only takes a ball or two for them to take the bait. So that's great. That's like, you know, that's obviously that's the type of thing. There's banter in all that as well. Obviously, banter is okay, but so the point of this slide is where, again, where's the line, and when do we step in, and when do they cross the line? So obviously, a personal attack, something that's threatening, obviously not threatening, or if it's directed at an umpire, but obviously targeting appearance, and that might be the person's weight, the person's skin colour, the person's hair colour, and that doesn't necessarily mean just dark, or it could be light skin. I've had a player before have a go say something about a player with very fair skin, red hair, about, you know, getting burnt in the sunlight. It's like, hang on mate, can't be saying shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I probably didn't say shit, sorry.
It can't be personal. Yeah. So it's okay if it's game related. It's okay if it's not personal, and it's okay if it's not threatening. That's a borderline one, because it might be threatening to their cricket ability, but as long as it doesn't threaten their person.
But there is a line as well. Even if you're threatening their cricket ability, to the point where it's bullying and mean. Yeah. I think and we'll talk about where the line is and when you start to step in, how we're stepping in.
And how you do it as well.
But I think the bottom line is, once you are at the point where it's like, hey, you guys are getting close to the line, yeah, we'll cover that here again in a second. Before we get to that, just one thing on, say you've given a not out decision that fielding team's not all that happy with, or they may just be asking the question. So we've all had the situation where captain from second slip or mid-off, it's like, how'd you see that one, Georgie? Why was that not out? Yeah. No issue with that. You just don't know, it's too high, I thought it was sliding. Yeah,
so that interaction was calm and respectful. They're not barking at you. They're not saying, hey, Albert, was that not out? Yeah. They're saying, hey, how'd you see that? If they talk to you calmly and respectfully, then answer them calmly and respectfully. If they're going to bark something at you, I tend to not answer. I'll just give them a look. And they know that I'm not going to answer that. Because the worst thing you can do is defend your decision as an umpire. Because by defending your decision, like let's say you've given a not out, you've seen it as clearly going down leg, they all think it's hitting middle stump. So they think it's out. You're not going to change their mind on whether they think it's out or not. So it's no good doubling down. If you say it's missing leg and they don't want to accept it, just don't say anything else. Just take it on board, and if they're going to be disrespectful, then you report them.
Yeah, I think the point here around too many players getting involved, like, I think you get in trouble if there's all of a sudden everyone's coming at you and you're starting to feel surrounded. There's only so much, almost nothing that your partner from square leg can do in that situation. Other than, you know, what they want to yell out, guys, leave them alone. You know, so I think
they can say that's enough.
Yeah, and you
they
can
probably say that's enough.
But hopefully we're all strong enough, both partners, and if you're umpiring with someone who's a less experienced umpire, maybe you might have to go, guys, that's enough.
Yeah.
But hopefully we're all competent enough at the bowler's end. How are you going to diffuse that situation? You've got almost a team feel like they're swarming on you. This is where you go back to, it's actually in the code of conduct, at the start of all our playing conditions, under the players. Don't question the captain's decision. Don't question the umpire's decision, or something on to those effects. And then it talks about when it is okay, and that's this captain or a team manager in a break or something like that.
Yeah.
But so how you would do it is you just go, guys, I'm happy to talk to the captain. I'm not answering all the you know, something on the lines where you're just diffusing it. Like, I'm not answering all your questions.
Yeah.
Or would you have any other suggestion on that?
Because I think if you can defend your decision, and look, I've done it. I think we've all done it on occasions where we want to defend ourselves. So we go into the fight mode and we want to defend ourselves to the person who's never going to agree with us. Yeah. So all that does is ask them to keep arguing with you.
Yeah.
So don't defend your decision.
I think diffuse is a good word in that.
Yeah, please try and diffuse the situation.
Another little hint is your book is quite a powerful tool.
Yes, you can remove it from your pocket.
You can, for argument's sake, not necessarily in that situation where they're getting up on you, but when you can see the game starting to rise up a little bit, they might be having a go at a batter or something, you can just wander over, take your book out, you can draw a smiley face. The next minute they're all looking at you going, hey, are we okay here? Yeah, I'm just taking notes. That's all. Put the book back in the pocket, walk back in. You'll be surprised how that calms things down.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I don't think actually stating out loud, you will be on your report, is ever going to help the situation. All that's going to do is inflame the situation for petrol. I think. You may have a different opinion, but I don't think I've ever said that on a cricket field. You will be on report.
Just to back up Mick's point there, I umpired years ago, and when I umpired in Adelaide Turf, before I came to that, a long time ago. Yep. There was the guy that umpired there, he was an umpire, Ken Greenwood, but some people might even know him.
Yep.
Ken Greenwood umpired hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games in Adelaide Turf. He never recorded one player, but he pulled the book out an awful lot.
Yeah.
As soon as anything happened, and all the players knew, when he pulled the book out, it was time to shut up.
Yeah.
Because they were getting near the line. So that's the sort of rapport you can get.
Yeah, correct.
That can work.
And that's building a rapport with the players that you're umpiring too. So it's really important.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that one. This is Steve Smith argues about a leg side wide, not even wide. Oh, he does signal. No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
So basically, for anyone who didn't hear that, they basically end up having an argument on field with the umpire, who is also arguing back.
Yeah.
example of what not to do.
Yeah, that's a really good example of what not to do.
Warner's objective it's the same umpire didn't call a wide for a marginally similar example of the distance, and he didn't call wide, but we sort of do when he took his stance. Like, strictness in the stance of running the stance was wide.
We generally can't trust the players to know the laws of the umpires, so take that with a grain of salt. So without letting this drag on too much longer, guys, I just wanted to cover along. So we talked about obviously managing the game and understanding, like we spoke about it with the bowlers and runouts, you know, when just having a game awareness. I think if that top point, if you're jumping in, anytime anyone says anything, you're just going to be that guy that's over officious, and you know that is not the side of the line that we want to be. No. We also don't want to be on the passive side, like we said right at the start, where you're just accepting any and all behaviour. So you're finding that balance of, and that's why this is kind of our escalation, how we process things. So something friendly, like not even competitive banter on the field, fine, happy with that, this is a good competitive game, we're on here. Let it go, we're fine. As soon as it starts getting to the point where they might have made a comment, this is all, that's getting a bit close to the line there. You know, it's maybe starting to sound a little personal, or it's getting to the point where it's, you know, bullying. All right, we're having a quiet word. Probably the captain, if it's like, you know, people are kind of going up. Captain is your, you know, you go to in that situation. You just kind of that friendly, quiet word. Guys, you're getting close to the line here, or that's enough. Like you said before, you're just cutting it off before it escalates to the point where anyone's going to have to do any more formal.
Yeah, so let's say you've given a not out decision, and a couple of the fielders are having talking to you about it. You go, that's enough, need to play cricket, and then there's still murmurings like the next over, like, oh, that one should have been out, like, well, how did you miss that? How can you not give that out? We've all been in that situation where teams have done that to us. So then it's a good time to just go, hey Skip, and don't be upset. Don't let them know that they're getting under your skin. Like just go, whoever the skipper is, hey Pete, can we have a chat? And the skipper comes over and you have a chat with them that this is enough and it needs to stop. And if he's a good captain, he will stop it. And that also builds a rapport between you and the captain, which is really important.
Yeah, so we actually had a good example of that the weekend, James and I. These Torrens just appealing like crazy the first session, and like just stupid appeals, as like most of us know what these Torrens are like. So at the lunch break, we happened to, and it worked out nicely, quite coincidentally, that Josh Barrett, the captain, just happened to be walking as we were, and we could just able to grab him without anyone else being around, and just said, mate, I love a good appeal as much as anyone else, but some of those appeals are just ridiculous. Like, and just kind of said, you know, that's probably enough of those stupid ones. And he was like, okay, and then we had no issue the rest of the game. And that was one of those things where we just left it, could have just kept escalating, it gets out of hand to the point where it's silly, or more silly, and then, you know, you just get on to those things, and all it took was a friendly conversation, that was fine.
So, are we all okay with that? We all agree that that's what we should do? Best case scenario, that's how we should handle it?
Yep. So this point here is when if someone's right up to that line where you're thinking, well, do I need to report them here, or behaviour is almost at the point where you're going to have to report them. That's a very more formal conversation where if a batter's been given out and they've reacted in a way that you're like, oh, you look at the replay and like, oh, I'm not. It's disappointment, but it's very strong disappointment. There's nothing that's like I can really pin them on. But you can manage that with a conversation, quite a formal conversation after the game about, you know, you're right at the line there. You know, much more of that or anything more than that is going to have to go in the book. And then once it is at the point where sometimes it can't be managed beforehand, it's just something happens, has to go in the book. I think, Mick, you were talking about that just before, which I think is really good points about that bottom one, all you're doing when you're reporting behaviour is just letting Saka know what happened.
Yeah.
Go, hey, Tomo, Premier Cricket Team, it's worth having a look at footage of this event, you know, and then it's up to them what they think about it. That's exactly what you were saying, Chef. Like, I think it's not up to us to decide, oh, they should get 2 games for that.
No.
Or even if it is a guilty of dissent at all, you go, this one was actually bad enough that I think it's probably over the line. If the sucker throws it out, great. It was worth showing them.
Yeah, correct. And this one here, the swallow your pride if you made a poor decision. Most batters get reported because it might have been a poor decision. I'm telling you that right now. It happens a lot, and if we're not going to report because we've made a poor decision, because we feel bad to the batter, because we made them react like that, no, we didn't make them react like that. We just made a decision on what we saw and heard.
Or you don't want to highlight to the sucker how bad your decision was.
Yeah, correct.
But that's why I swallowed it right, because we all make mistakes.
Yeah, you've got to swallow
make
your
mistakes.
pride.
Player nicks one, player misses one.
Yep.
They nicked it onto their pad, or they're in the middle of the bat.
And the one thing that Jason Herriot says to me about most reports, and look, some of them are batters saying they've hit it when it's an LBW. He goes, did they hit it for 6, Craig? No, they didn't. Isn't that what batters meant to do? Hit runs? Yeah, if they've nicked it onto their pad, they haven't hit it for 6, have they?
Yeah.
So he looks at it like that. That's his view on how people should behave. And yes, umpires make mistakes. Players make many more mistakes than what umpires do. On a general rule, players make a lot more mistakes than what umpires do.
Yeah, I think the other 2 little points here is you're not pinning a player, you're not ganging up on the player, or it's just the behaviour.
It's just their behaviour.
This thing happened in this game, and that's what we talk about, the facts. You're just passing on the facts to the sucker, they can look it up and make their decision from there.
Yep.
Anything else on this? Anyone have any questions before we move on?
I've got one.
Yep.
If something's happened, say a batsman's got out and he's had a go at the umpire, and he's taken it down, is it at the umpire's discretion if after the game the person involved comes and apologises, if they continue with it? Or they just throw it out?
Look, we had one this week actually at DP. The player apparently went up to both umpires, shook their hand, and apologised profusely about their behaviour. Their behaviour was abhorrent on the field. It's not going to get them off. No. Never when a player comes up and apologises to you after a game, does that make any difference on whether their behaviour was bad or not. If their behaviour was bad enough to report it, whether they apologise or not, it may make a difference in the outcome, like to how many games they serve, maybe. I don't think so at the moment. Look, what we've done...
You can include it in the facts of
yes,
the report.
Yeah, including
After
the facts because the player did apologise. Please write that in your report. But I don't think it really has a lot of difference. It should definitely not stop you reporting. And one thing that Premier Cricket has done is they got rid of the reprimand. I've mentioned this before. There is no reprimands anymore. There is suspended sentences when maybe it's a first offence. The player is still found guilty of that offence and they have 1 game hanging over their head. We have had a couple of instances this year where those suspended sentences have been triggered. So the player has reoffended and therefore their suspended sentence has got triggered. So it is working in that way.
So just just for anyone who hasn't actually had to do it
when you want to report someone, this is where you go. You don't just send me an email and say, Craig, I reported this bloke.
I can't.
Forms and reports, and then report a player. It loads, it's pretty simple.
Craig, the other point to that is if the player comes up at the end of the day and apologises excessively, then he's admitting that he knows his behaviour was inappropriate.
Correct. Correct. A player's not going to apologise if they don't think they've done the wrong thing, are they? So yeah, very good point, Chris. Yeah.
Their whole thing for that is they're trying to get off.
Yeah, they're trying to get off. That's it. So yeah, it's not a hard form to fill out. It's pretty easy. And what time and what was said. So please, in your notebooks, record the over number, ball number, time, all of that kind of stuff. They all need to be documented.
Record everything. Like
Yeah.
where you are in relation to
And,
the player.
and the thing is, it's probably not going to... Look, with frog box it's a lot easier. If you're umpiring first and second grade and you've got frog box vision of the offence, you probably don't have to write the ball number and the timing because it's time stamped on the video.
Right.
So it makes it pretty easy.
So you need to write the ball number, because if you go to a tribunal, the commissioner will ask you for your ball. Or Jason or Craig may say, can you send me a photo of your ball?
Yeah.
And
We may want the notebook, yeah.
Yeah, so you need to know, it's all in Craig tries, just the time, the ball number, what happened, it's pretty easy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't rely on frog box because it just might be down or not working at the time when you want it to be.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know, but yeah.
Yeah.
All good?
All good.
Now, what's the person advised of the report? It's not mandatory to tell the captain and or the player that they've been reported. I think it's good building a rapport to let them know they've been reported. But you may be in a situation where you don't want to even go near that player or that captain because the game's got out of hand. And you don't have to tell them. Does not matter on the report at the end of the day. If you've told them or not. You just tick no. Move on. Yeah.
And then if yes, what was said has a red asterisk next to it, so you would just have to write NA.
Yeah, correct. Yes. Yes.
All good.
All good? Are we all happy with that? All happy with the process? It's not hard, so please do it if the behaviour's bad. Yes, Ian.
Just one comment, Craig. A couple of weeks ago, I had occasion to speak to the captain of the fielding team about excessive appealing. And I thought it was good practice after the game to have a word with the coach and tell him why I'd spoken to the captain.
Perfect.
I think
I like that.
I think that's a reasonable approach. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
coach knows what was
Yeah,
going
especially in a junior game, like you're umpiring. I think if you talk to the captain, then you should reiterate what you've said to the coach. The coach needs to know what you said to that skipper. Yeah, I totally agree, and that's great.
Especially juniors, but I think I've seen it all the way up.
Yeah. Yep.
Happy?
Happy?
Changing gears.
Yes.
We have made a little, what would you call it, token of help. So this is something
they're playing pocket cards.
So yes, we've noticed other states around the place have cards very similar to this, and so as a SACA we thought it would be a very helpful little card. The next couple of slides will just give you an idea of what it is. So it's designed to basically fit in your pocket if you want it, or in your, in your back pocket, however you want to have it on field. But it's designed to be able to have it on field, and it's, we'll go through a couple of things, but everyone will get one as you walk out tonight, and we'll have plenty of them. So the idea is not to be, this isn't to arm us on field to then go and start, pinning people for these minor little things. Because, I found it in here. It's really.
Yeah, we don't want it to be that. We just want, when these things happen in a game, which they don't happen a lot, look, a lot of it is blue moon and stuff. But when it does happen, sometimes you might just not remember exactly what needs to happen. And we might go through one in a minute.
So something like 41.5, mock fielding.
Yep.
Very rare thing to happen, but if the player tends to throw it and they don't have the ball, and it puts off the batters, or whether or not it puts off the batters, basically they're mock fielded, then we as umpires are expected to just know, step, these are all the things that we need to do out of the balls of cricket, right? And there's so many different ones, and they all have their slight variations. So this
And
card
I
is
can
just to help
say-
us to be able to execute that.
When me and Pete were talking about this in the office, I did not know that this is the case. Batters choose who will face next delivery. I just did not have that one in my head for willful. I knew it didn't count as one of the over, but I did not know that the batters can choose who's on strike.
It's changed in the laws a little bit recently, but this one I like to call the kitchen sink. You literally throw the kitchen sink at them.
You do.
They get, not only do they get the runs they scored, they completed, they get any that, even if they haven't even crossed. So the weird thing about mock fielding, the player tends to pick it up and throw to stop the batters running another run, right? So they've run the first, turned the second, seen that and stopped. So they've started the second. They actually get those
They
two
get the
runs.
second run.
They get the 5 penalty runs.
And they get the 5 penalty.
The ball doesn't count in the over. They get to choose who goes to place the next ball. Only put a report in.
Yeah.
So it's like, I remember everything on there.
So when that cheeky little wicketkeeper does that, I've got the ball, or I haven't, and he hasn't got the ball, just let him know that he's not allowed to do it.
So process, guys, for this is basically in a situation like that, you hopefully we all know you call dead ball and you can come together with your partner. Always, you talk about a lot.
There's time in the game for
buy
that.
yourselves time. Like the third thing,
There is time in the game.
So you come together with your partner, one of you or both of you can pull out your handy little helper card and just make sure that you've gone through the list and checked everything off, because you don't, nothing worse than you've done, I think we've got everything there, and then it turns out, oh, whoops, the ball wasn't meant to count in the over.
Yeah.
And did we give the batters the option? No, we'll just pretend we did. Or
And it might be number 3 back with number 11. I reckon I know who's going to go on strike.
So that's an example.
Number 11, of course.
Can I ask a silly question?
Yes.
Just, I know you won't know the answer to this, but it might be worth checking. Does Play HQ allow scoring program allow the scorers to put that in?
I don't care.
No, I know you.
Is the answer here? Sorry. I'm sure it
I
does.
think they can reckon
They'll be able to select.
It's a short run, they'll be able to change.
Yeah, they might be able to figure it. Yeah, I don't know. It's all right. It just sounded like
I
I'm
don't
getting
know,
scored
it's
now. We haven't got anything for that.
There was a question here as well, and it kind of applies to a lot of these whenever you're putting in, like, there's 5 penalty runs, so ball hitting helmet, I think it's right in the middle there.
Yeah.
So again, ball hits helmet, 5 penalty runs, the only thing in the laws of cricket where you force 5 penalty runs, but there's no report. And it is ball counts in the over with that one as well. But so basically, when you're giving 5 penalty runs or any of these things, same as boundary for overthrow, confirming with the scorers, either at the time if they're within, you know, you can kind of walk a few steps and confirm, guys, there's 5 penalty runs, they get the 2, so that's going to be 2 plus the 5, or, you know, however you want to communicate it with them, or if overthrows, we've got a little explainer on some overthrow situation there. Yes. So 5 penalty runs, arms toss to chest, padding for batting. So
Batting is batting, holding is fielding.
Patting is for batting. So if it says penalty runs for batting team, like the ball hits the helmet, you're patting. And if it's 5 penalty runs for the fielding team, so batters damage the wicket, or there's a couple in here that you guys can have a look through and get them. Anyway, the only other thing, well, one other thing I was just going to point out, so 41.6 is a good example where our playing conditions, and all playing conditions will differ from the balls.
Yes.
So what if we put in this is the playing conditions? So most of this...
Because that's what we're going to know we need to know for Premier Cricket.
Yeah. So most of this card you'll find is just straight out of the laws, because SACA Premier Cricket doesn't carve it out, therefore it is whatever it is in the law. Dangerous short pitch deliveries, there is a carve out in SACA playing conditions. So you'll notice here the top part is limit of 0s, there might not be allowed any. Junior cricket, you're not allowed any short balls in the over, so straight away,
no balls.
as soon as it's over the shoulder, it's a no ball. And then that's the process, and then you'll go through the process here that, you know, red ball, men's cricket, 2 for the over.
Yeah.
So you can see, anyway, spend some time, have a look through, familiarise yourself with the card.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It's really good to just have something that we can give you that you can just have in your pocket. It doesn't mean we want you to go out looking for this to happen. But if it happens, you've got it there. And you can take time out of the game to make sure you get it right.
Yes.
And if anyone complains to me about the umpire making sure they get it right when a blue mooner happens, I don't care. Yeah.
And there's probably one here actually worth mentioning. We talked about before with playing management, when to jump in, you're not jumping in everything. The striker in protected area, actually had an example of that from the weekend as well. You know, batting this far out of the crease and step, and then maybe just in it, maybe sometimes. Probably not worth mentioning. It wasn't until he got this far out of his crease and literally he's in there, it's going to be inevitable. As soon as he did that, I wander in from square leg, just calmly go, said his name, and like, you're in the protected area there, you probably can't bat that far out of your crease. Yeah. So it's like, and he kind of asked the question, I'm like, he goes, oh, am I in there? I'm like, you being in there is inevitable when you're playing the ball. And so that's what you're doing. And I'm not trying. So the thing is, the law doesn't say to do that. The law would say call dead ball and start enforcing all this stuff. So there is still, in this one particularly, carved out, consider use of friendlies.
Friendlies. Be proactive. Again, building a rapport.
Yeah, that management there, I think, falls within what I call the spirit of the game, and that is you're facilitating something that the game expects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good
spot on.
I think that's come up like in our first session this year when we talk about that, you know, it says this in the black and white, but we actually in practice will do things, we'll manage the game slightly different ways, and it's hopefully some of these things will give you a little cue, like consider use friendlies is a bit of a cue to like, don't just drop the hammer on people as soon as they do something because you've got armed with a handicap. Anything else on this before we go on?
Questions? Look, if you're not comfortable carrying that with you on field, don't carry it on with you on field. If you want to just sit in your bag, in your umpiring kit, and it's just there as a reminder that you might look at occasionally, that's up to you. Totally up to you.
Yeah, not mandatory.
No, not mandatory at all.
It's just to help. Should we do the video and then talk about it?
Yeah, I think so. Do the video first. Alright. Doing a great job, mate. A lot quicker than what I do. Yeah, I know. Thanks. Alright, watching. Oh, hits the batter.
So if you miss that, ball's deflected off the batter and then gone for 4.
Going for 4.
The Ben Stokes effect.
Yeah. So this is just to run through a bit of, well, okay, you're the two umpires here, what do you do in this scenario? Do you want to leave it playing and watch what they do, or?
Yeah, let's leave it playing and watch what they do.
You talk over it.
So, what are we doing as umpires? It's 4 overthrows, yeah? Yeah, in the spirit of cricket, if that just went a little bit away from the batters probably don't run, yeah? Most games, batters probably don't run. They can if they want to, because it wasn't, the batter didn't willfully stop the ball, they threw the ball and it hit the bat. So the two umpires come together, they're talking about, well, what point are they looking for? What is the really important point in this?
Did the batsman deliberately deflect the ball, or did it just hit their bat?
Sorry?
Timing of the throw and the location of the batter.
Yeah. When did the throw get released? And where the batters were are the two most important things.
No, this is not a third umpire game, so this is the same as what we have. It's just the two of you.
This is what we get on field. So that's what they did. They decided that the batters had run one and not crossed when the throw was... Because it doesn't matter when it goes over the boundary, does it?
No.
It matters when the throw was released. That is the important point in time that matters about how many runs they get. So, they've decided on field The batters had touchdown for one, they weren't quite cross for two when the throw was released, so they gave him 6.
And I think the reason why, and we'll just maybe go through it a little bit slower, because you think you're Jared Abood at square leg.
Yeah, you're Jared Abood at square leg. So when was that released?
What's your chances?
So do you reckon they crossed or not crossed? Looking at that video. You reckon they crossed for the second? Yeah. So if you were out here, where Jerry Abood is, on the next division, see there's Jerry? So he's about to throw the ball.
Now this isn't an attack on Jared.
No, it's not.
Because think about, it's all well and good to sit here and talk about the laws of the game and where people were from this view in slow motion, frame by frame. We can all understand what the law is. If you're Jared Abood in that situation, you're not sitting there going, when's he throw it, where are the batters? To you, it's just an easy two, fielder's picking it up from boundary, throwing it in, easy two. You don't know that it's going to go for 4, and you're not prepared to know exactly the point.
You're not even looking for a run out, because the batters are going to easily get there with that throw from there.
So I think the logic that both umpires, yeah, I think the logic that both umpires would be using is he's throwing from fairly long way out. This here,
this is a really good point that Pete's making about how far the field is throwing away.
So we just have to use logic. Just reverse engineer it. You haven't seen it. None of us would ever see it. Jared Abood, number 3 umpire in the country, he's not watching that. He's not going to know. He's used logic based on how far he's throwing it and how hard he's throwing it. So in this case, to the letter of the law, I think he's not quite released the ball there, and the next frame he has released the ball, and technically the batter's probably just apart. Sorry,
about there.
About there.
That's when he's releasing. So yeah, so technically, if this is a third umpire game, that would have gone. Can you have a look at that and tell us how many runs are scored? But all of us in here, we haven't got a third umpire, have we? So on field, if you're Jerry Abood and Chris Graham, you just come together and go, I reckon he released that before they crossed.
Yeah.
Most of the time you would probably think that.
But he's based that logic on the fact that he's throwing from the outside.
Yeah.
So as a rule of thumb, I would say if you're throwing, and obviously...
And in this level of cricket...
At this level, so it's going to be level dependent, how hard the throw comes in. So you're weighing up and reverse engineering all of these things. But if there's a big lob throw from the boundary, batters probably wouldn't have crossed when they released that ball. If you're in the infield, basically on the ring, hard throw, they clearly would have crossed.
Yeah.
So here, literally, is the tipping point, and he's just made a logical guess based on the information he had. I think it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah. I think it was a reasonable
assumption. This is not anything against
But now looking at it critically, like as a third umpire, they should have got 7 and they got 6. So we ripped the English off again.
Just clarify that, so it includes, that is considered as a run once they've crossed.
Let's go here.
Yeah, correct.
That's what
yes, Leon, good question. Yeah.
So,
all right.
There you go.
You want me to?
So basically, out of the laws, this is what they're trying to decide is at the point they release. So that is basically, 19.8 is a willful, overthrow willful act, which is actually also in here. Just to clarify this particular point, because this is exactly, these umpires coming together, there's a time where you're like, hang on, what is it? Is it the point where it hits the stump? Or is it the point where,
the bat?
What do we have to do it is, at the instant, check and book, at the instant of the throw or act, and then the batters, and so that's how many runs they get. So in this case, it should have been the 2, because they crossed at the instant of release, plus the 4, so it should have been 6.
Yeah, 6, sorry.
They gave them 5.
Yeah, they gave them 5, yeah.
And then so that's where I chucked this in there as well, it's from 30.2, which round belongs to which batter. So if this was a frame earlier and the batters are literally level,
then they have to decide which end the batters go to after that happens.
So that's just a clarifying point on if they were actually level.
In their scenario, because they gave it 1 plus 4, the striker goes to the non-striker's end, the non-striker goes to the striker's end. I hope everyone knows that, yeah?
Yeah.
That's pretty simple stuff, but if they decided that it was 2 + 4, the striker's still on strike.
Yeah.
So it does make a difference.
Oh, we'll try. This one should be pretty quick. You probably may have all seen this
Have we
one.
all seen this one from last week?
Yeah.
And everyone would have said to you, that's out every day of the week, Craig. What the bloody hell are they doing giving this catch not out? Because that's what everyone said to me. Everyone that I spoke to said that this catch should be given out. So we'll watch it.
For those that hadn't seen it, this is the event. We get a nice slow motion. So what the third umpire's looking for here, as the ball made contact with the ground before he's completed the catch.
Yeah, the ball's hit the ground there.
So
ball's hit the ground there.
Ball's touched the ground once.
And then, still not in control of his motion. Still not in control of his motion. And hit the ground definitely again. So it's hit the ground twice in that roll. So we all know the big start one that wasn't allowed. When he caught it, went to get up, wasn't in control of his motion still, so not out.
So the critical thing here, again, the extract just out of the law for the court, we want the complete control over both ball and own movement before it touches the ground. So does that, this should be as black and white as it comes.
Yeah.
If you read that. Did anyone see
Are
that?
we all happy if we saw that happening?
I think we're using technology incorrectly. We should not be using technology. He's taken the catch.
But hang on a second, you see that clearly. If you're standing at bowler's end and you see that live, I don't care with technology, you see that.
But he's taken the catch and he's in control of the ball.
But by 33.1, what is taking the catch?
Yes, they would have given that out if they had technology.
That's what the honourable
Okay, so the point we're making here is that if you see that,
if you see the ball come in contact with the ground,
I would do that out.
if the batter's put there and
even if you saw the ball hit the ground,
all due respect, he hasn't taken the catch.
when he is not over, he has not complete control over both the ball and their own movement. Yes, Kayla.
As I was actually watching that, when I was watching it, straight up line before I did any of it, I said, when it touched the ball the first time, it looked like he was putting the ball on the ground to in between his neck. It was the kind of roll that was, oops, I'm about to hurt myself.
Yeah.
Instead of hurting himself, he didn't
So, as an umpire, would you have given it a not out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it touched the ball ground
Yeah.
both twice and it wasn't in any form of control.
Yeah. Harry?
Just adding to that, if we see that whole thing, what happened on field, two umpires get together, and the signal that they sent to the TV umpire was this, and the soft signal was out.
Yeah. Which
means,
really surprised me.
Yeah, which means both umpires said, in our opinion, as on field, it looks out, but if you have a conclusive evidence to give out not out, go for it.
So
that's what he was.
So do you think there might have been something in the soft signal to keep the fielding side happy?
Yes. Like in our opinion, we had a doubt, but we're leaving up to the TV umpire.
Yeah.
To have a conclusive evidence.
Yeah.
To make the decision. And that's what the TV umpire was looking for, conclusive evidence.
I think that the real bottom line of the story here is this, for all intents and purposes, fails the pub test. But we're not doing this game in a pub. We're doing it in accordance with the laws, and the laws currently are interpreted this way as this is not out.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're never going to change it.
No.
Because to change this,
Will have to be a major overhaul of that.
but not only is it a major overhaul, what if someone's about to fall out of bounds, over the boundary, and then they just chuck the ball and fall out, but it's like, oh, I had control of that.
Yeah.
So now I should be out.
Yeah.
So it's not going to change.
It's not going to change. Yes, Bruce?
What about the old scary catch? When he spoke to the guy, he's done a roll and he's thrown
Yeah.
all the way.
No, I'm glad you brought that up. I was actually about to say the same thing.
There's no way he had control on his body, he's thrown the ball in the air.
Correct. But
Is that out of
the judgment is he's got enough control over the ball and his body to throw it up.
Yeah, so therefore he's got control over his
What
movement.
about when we just said about six, they've got control of it, and you throw it up and then land?
Yeah, so if he did that and landed out of bounds, it's not out. He's done that, and that is exactly right to bring up because that's where the grey area is. And I think we have one in a game out here, and there was a girl who did the exact same thing, threw it up, as she was rolling, throws it up like this. Thankfully for us, one of the outfielders just trots in, catches it, and throws it to the out. And so it's like, we didn't have to. Because, Bruce, yeah, exactly. That is the grey area where the black and white in terms of if you're the third umpire making a decision. In that case, they didn't even send that to the third umpire. Because on field, you see him, he goes like this, I'm happy, he had control, threw it up. But if that goes to the next third umpire, you're looking for, he's got control over the ball and control over the body. Body's still rolling, but he's got enough wherewithal to throw it up. If they'd thrown it out sideways and straight to the ground like the old Judge Palace one, if the ball is gone, throw it up, the ball's come out that way.
No way.
Yeah, but then that's where
I mean,
there has to be a line somewhere else.
That's a helpful. Oh, as I said, that's complicated. It's in the backyard, that's it.
But the laws of cricket say it's not out.
Because they talked about it when the guy was running a attack and control his body.
Yeah.
But he was running motion.
Yeah, Marnus did one with the test match where he's still like kind of like not falling, but like his momentum is taking him backwards. He's reasonably close to the boundary, but without being close enough that he would step over it. Kind of throws it in. Again, grey area, but he's nowhere near falling over the boundary. There's enough.
He had to move.
It's the difference.
He's falling just as Turner is.
Yeah, but the difference, Bruce, is this one's as he's landing, the ball's hitting the ground. He's not got. If he had caught it as he was going to, as he's falling, throws it up. Then you're talking about a real grey area.
Yeah, correct. I agree with that.
He's falling, but
I was just about to say that.
This isn't great.
I guess I'm biased too.
Can we play the video again?
I think the batsman also walked up. If you see, the batsman also clearly walked up, thinking that he was out. If you see there.
Does that matter?
It doesn't matter, but it was not out. For me, it was clearly not out.
Yeah.
But the batsman, if you could see, he thinks that he is out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
He's not really.
Yeah. He didn't have a chance. He couldn't have thrown that.
Yeah, there's no way because he couldn't have the presence of mind. He couldn't have the presence of mind to throw it in the air, Bruce, because he didn't have control over his motion.
I don't have to argue that the other two is
Oh, we haven't got that
control.
Sorry.
So that's where
There's one last on Brisbane.
Yeah. All right.
The aim of that was to make it black and white for everybody.
So, are we all happy? Yes, Michael? Hang on. Linton, hang on.
We've all seen the catches on TV and stuff where the fieldsman's fingers are in the grass and the ball comes in and it's hard to tell whether the ball hits the grass or hits the fingers of the grass.
So, that scenario is if the fingers are in the grass, we all know the grass can be this long and it can be this long. Okay? So if they determine that the fingers are on the ball and the ball bounces off the fingers, doesn't matter if there's a blade of grass in the fingers. Does not matter.
I can give you the protocol. Cricket Australia's protocol is if the ball's in between fingers of one hand it can be touching the ground and it's still fair catch. If it's outside the end of the fingers, then it's not in between, therefore it's touching the ground. If it's in between two fingers of different hands, touching the ground in between these two fingers, not out.
Not out.
So that's like literally down to the...
Perfect explanation, thank you.
So if you're an umpire, you have to be black and white. So you have to know where the black and white is. Like as for us at our level...
For us at our level, if we come together and we think it's bounced, play on. It's not out.
Because I make it sound if it touches a blade of grass at any point, it's not out.
No, that's incorrect.
I've played enough cricket and I know
Incorrect.
You're in
Yeah.
catch it cleanly in your hand,
Yeah.
grass.
And sometimes I will just have grass this long.
So the one thing is if it's in between, touching ground, in between fingers of one hand. It's fair catch.
Smith had one that sort of bounced up against India, sort of bounced up out of his hand and got caught.
Yeah, the tricky ones is when the fingers are in the ground, bounces and then up into the hand. So you actually see it on the replay with bounce, but then you're looking at the frame of where is it when it's on the ground. Is it in there?
Are we all okay with that?
Not that we've got that.
Yeah. Are we all okay that if we see the player not in control of their motion, not their emotions, their motion, and the ball goes on the ground, it's not out. That's the end game that we want to get from this. If we see that. If we don't see it, and we're not sure whether the ball's hit the ground, and they might have had their hand still underneath, and we're happy with it, they've taken the catch, it's out.
Yeah, so
It's our decision at the end of the day.
just to reiterate what Mick said, and it's a very important point. Our job is to umpire the game in accordance with the laws of cricket and the playing conditions and other things. If the laws of cricket said this is the definition of a catch, then that's the definition we apply, and we umpire to.
Yeah.
Whether we agree with it or whether we don't agree with it, it doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter.
Yep, cool. Are we all happy with that at the end of the day?
If you're positive about making the decision, they'll accept it.
That does help, I agree, Tom. Yeah, spot on. How are we going? Is that about it?
I think that's it.
We're early. Anything else that anyone else has had in games that they want to talk to me about? Yes, Chris.
Okay. This is from the scorers. The scorers have, a couple of scorers have asked us to bring this up at meetings. One of the things that occasionally happens is that they don't get recognition from the umpires at the start of every, after every break of play, and it's usually drinks.
Yep.
Now, if they're umpiring a first grade game or first grade ground, then they've quite possibly got electronic scoreboard. They've got their, various things that they have.
There's a bit going on.
There is a bit going on. And if we start playing without acknowledging scorers after the drinks break, then often they can be heads down and working away.
Yep.
And all of a sudden look up and it's the second ball into the over.
Yeah. So, how many balls are they bowled?
Yeah. Exactly. So it's, from the scorers, I would really appreciate the fact that after each drinks break, obviously it's in the playing conditions and in the laws of cricket. So let's just make sure that we follow that.
Really good point that Chris makes is before play, after a drinks break, after a lunch break, after a tea break, we always put our hand up and go, scorers, and we wait for an acknowledgement. Don't just, and what else do we do? What else do we say? Play. Please, so many times I've umpired with people, they don't say play after drinks, or they don't say play in the next session. They're quite good at the start of the day, but then they don't say play. We need to let everyone know that we're playing again. And that usually goes hand in hand with, I've acknowledged the scorers play. Like, that's what happens. So, any other questions? We've got a little bit more time. Yes, Max?
Just continue on that one. With your scorers, you're a team. So, before the play, go and meet your scorers.
Yeah.
Have a chat to them. You're a team. So, it's so important
Yeah.
And check at your intervals, scores are correct, or you're going to have your lunch,
Yeah.
end of day.
Yeah. Sometimes some grounds it's not convenient to see the scorers. I'll agree with that. But you still need to make the effort, especially at breaks, to make sure that everything's okay. Like they might say to you, there might have been something in that session that they weren't sure of. Like you might have given a decision out, they didn't know if it was board or LBW. Like maybe something like that, they want to clarify it with you. Like it might have been plain as day to you out on the field, but the scorers might not have seen it that clearly. So do check in with them and see how they're going. And at the end of the day, we have to rely on the scorers to get the scores right, so we can go home because the result's right. So don't get caught in that scenario where you have to stay with the scorers to try and make sure the books are right. So if you work with them during the day, hopefully that won't happen. Anything else that anyone wants to bring up? Because we've got a few minutes. Yes, Ian?
We had to delay a restart today because the scorers told us they were having trouble with the electronic scoring, working out what to do when the non-striker was run out backing up.
Yeah.
And there was a delay of 3 or 4 minutes while they figured out how to tell the electronic
But you
system.
communicated with them and they communicated with you. Yeah, it's not convenient. Look, it's not convenient that we hold the game up, but the scorers, we have to work with them. And if they weren't up to date with Play HQ and they couldn't get it working, you have to hold the game. Yes, Carla?
How long do you have to hold
Well, it depends how long they take to fix what they're doing with the scoreboard. Yeah. Sometimes it will be frustrating, and like 3 or 4 minutes is a long time to stand out in the middle and wait for the scorers to be right. But if they need to be right, they need to be right. So you need to wait.
Yeah.
I know 3 minutes is excessive amount of time, but the way it is. Yes, Graham?
I had a 10 or 15 minute break for a score problem.
There you go. There you go. Graham held up a game for 10 minutes because it happened. So hopefully it doesn't take that long. And obviously you're not then gonna ping the you're not going to ping the fielding side for being slow, are you? It's definitely an allowance. Yes, protection.
Can we take early drinks or kind of
Sorry?
Can we take early drinks so that the scorer can fix and then the game doesn't postpone for a long?
Yeah, mate. If it's a hot day and it's been a while since drinks and you have a delay, let the players go and have a drink or sit in the shade or whatever. Yeah, don't keep them out in the burning sun if it's 30 odd degrees, yeah. What were you going to show, Pete?
Oh, I found that Paris graph.
Oh, it's gone.
If everyone wants to see it, sorry, hang on.
Well, that's coming up.
Oh, the one that Bruce was talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in control of his movement. He's in control of his movement enough to throw the ball in the air, Bruce. Yeah, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, Bruce. He's got enough control over his own movement to go, hey. Oh, mate, I've seen catchers go, hey, bang, in, out.
Bruce is colourblind,
There's nothing wrong with that, Bruce. Nothing at all. All right.
So if I'm third umpire though, you're looking at what point has he completed the catch. Like in all seriousness, you're going, okay, roll back, okay. Go frame by frame.
He's completed it there. He's completed it there.
Okay, I'm happy.
Body's still rolling.
No.
His hand very long,
And he's made the decision to throw the ball, Bruce. You're fighting a losing battle, Bruce. All right, hang on. Listen to Pete, please. Listen to Pete.
So, to Tom's point, it's all about how you sell it. One, we all just watch that and it's out. Third umpire, you have to understand where the black and white part of it is. But at the end of the day, sometimes there are greyish ones as third umpire. You just have to sell it. So, to me, you just choose wording that sells it, such as he's got enough control of his body to throw that up. I'm comfortable he's controlled and completed the catch before the ball's been grounded. Ready to go to the big screen of my decision. Decision will be out.
So throwing the ball up.
Did anybody catch the throw?
Yeah, well that's exactly. When you look back at the turn one, he's jumped, caught it, he's falling.
So Pete threw it.
Well, how? Yes. Theoretically, how would he have had enough control of himself? Because he's thrown it. He would have almost been.
He couldn't throw it. That's why he didn't throw it. Because he didn't have control of his motion. That's the way I look at it. Harris Ralph had control of his motion enough to throw the ball in the air. Whereas Ashton Turner, never at any time had control of his motion except for when he put the ball on the ground.
This is all my research.
There's no point where he has control of it that he can throw it. He couldn't throw it, so he didn't have control. Are we all happy? Thank you.
If he rolls up back and filled it.
Is everyone happy to go home? Michael? Hang on. Oh yeah, Pete. Yeah. Pete is no longer able to umpire, so he has a whole lot of gear that he has pristinely looked after. So if anyone wants to purchase it off Pete, please see Pete. What size are the hats, mate? Shoes are size 9s, hats XL. What else we got for sale? Everything. And I will be the first one to put my hand up and say, Pete looks after everything pretty bloody well. So, if you want some good quality gear at a cheap price, go and see Pete, please. So thank you all for participating, and hopefully the recording is good and we'll be able to send it out. All right. Thank you.